Welcome to my YouTube video. I'm going to be presenting today Connected Events Matter, my website. This is Brent Jones. I'm broadcasting on my YouTube channel, and we're looking on the screen at the page that you see when you go to www.connectedeventsmatter.com. This is the cover page. It shows a variety of pictures referring to the different pages that are on the site. It says on this page, it says, make connections matter. Connections have the power to shape your brains. They motivate us, heal us, and change our lives. Books, poetry, art, and just reading others' thoughts can have a profound influence on us. This site brings a variety of connections, experiences. So I'd encourage you to go to the site. It does have a lot of essays also. It has quite a bit on the career development area and a lot on the books area. And I have people come from all over, but I'd like to encourage you to give it a try. You go to the website, and after you get to the website, you click this About page. When you click the About page, it takes you to an About page, which shows recent posts, places to go. Not all of them, of course, but a few. And you can see up to the top the menu. Now, there's, for example, under Find Reviews, there's reviews alphabetically and favorite authors. Under essays, there's 3 different types of essays: essays on life, essays, writing thoughts. And then there's the book review, the career development insights. Those are probably the 2 most popular right now. I have written some books. I've put a little bit about my books in this About My Book site. I've got some pandemic news, positive thoughts, life development. So there's a lot on here. And I want to show you one thing that's on here. Let's look at this review alphabetically. There's almost 400 books on this alphabetical listing. Those are all of the books that I've reviewed on this site. As you recall from my prior video, if you saw it, the library has about 1,500 books in it. We have about 2,000 here in the household. I'm going to do a more thorough library tour in the future. If I look down this in alphabetical index, come down to Stephen King. That's what we talked about last week, was a little bit about Stephen King. And when you come down here, here he is. There's Stephen King. There's 24 books on here. Last week I presented 19 of them. Guess I thought that's all that I had. But I was a little surprised because I went searching in some of the overflow baskets that I keep on the bottom shelves of that website, and I found a few more books. As a matter of fact, those are the books that I found. We'll talk about those in a minute. But anyway, this is interesting. The alphabetical. Don't have a lot of people use that. Some do. I have a lot come and see the most current posts. If you go on book reviews, here's the most current posts. Come down here. This is one that I did yesterday. That's Madeleine Albright. It's called Hell and Other Destinations. It's kind of an interesting title. She found out there's a place in Michigan called Hell, Michigan. I guess it worked out nice for her because she could work into the dialogue about it, and hell even freezes over sometimes. So she never did say whether she'd been there, but it was an interesting part of her introduction. This woman is really an interesting woman. She's just done everything. Secretary of State, of course. Her one book, Madam Secretary, was quite well received. And of course, I liked the show. I watched the show. But I wrote a review about her book. I gave her 3 stars on Goodreads. I liked it, but I didn't love it. It was good. Pet Sematary, I reviewed that, and we talked about that in my prior video. Some of these pictures I found because they made a movie about it, and you don't know what a picture is from a book. It's in your mind, and it's better than any of these, but these are from the movie. I wrote this Thomas Jefferson review before that. I got interested in that. I've read it before. I read it again. With Hamilton being so popular right now, this book seemed like it might be a good one to post. I got some quotes here. Picture of Thomas Jefferson, John Meekum, the author of the book. You look at that Thomas Jefferson, he's a pretty good looking guy. That's not the way I saw him in the play Hamilton. I saw it on TV here a week ago, and I liked the play. It was enjoyable. I liked the play. I liked the approach to the play. It was very interesting. I didn't think they presented Jefferson very well. He was a controversial character. Here the guy owned slaves, and yet he's the one that slipped in there, all men are created equal, into the Constitution. It's kind of ironic. I guess there really aren't any perfect people. That's a good thing, because none of us are perfect, and we wouldn't want to have a bunch of perfect people walking around making us feel terrible. But I just think he's a lot better looking here. There he is up on Mount Rushmore. Anyway, that's an interesting one. This Logovna Street in Sarajevo, and I hadn't even thought about Sarajevo before I read this book, but it was interesting. So there's a lot of books on here. This was something a little different. I hadn't read a lot of stuff like that. I learned a few things by reading it. Michael Connelly's an interesting author. I've followed him. He's the one that wrote about Bosch, the series Bosch on TV. And boy, those were all good books. I've read a lot of his books. I've read a lot of everybody's books. But anyway, that's just a little bit about that site. I appreciate you coming today. I appreciate you looking at this thing. If you look over here at these books that I missed last week, this Heart of Atlantis is a book that's the first one I read. I read that years ago. That was interesting. I had Shining down in the basket, the overflow basket. Some say that's the scariest book that he ever wrote. He claimed, as you recall in my last video, he thought Pet Sematary was his most scary book. End of Watch, Salem's Lot, The Body, Apt Pupil, Joyland. I found that, never had heard of it. I like to find books by Stephen King that I'd never heard of, and Gwendy's Button Box and The Gunslinger. Those are the ones that I missed and brought me up to, I think, 28, 29 total books. So anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you'll try my website. I hope you'll watch from my videos. I'd like to do more. Thank you.